So what is an architect? An architect is someone who creates architecture. What is architecture? Architecture is some kind of structure. So it could be a house, it could be a building, it could be a monument, any kind of structure that is built for a specific use, an architect usually designs. So today you're going to be your own architect. Okay, so for this, the last project of the year, you are going to be an architect and you are going to build a fort. Today is just about planning out your build. So today you just want to decide where you're going to have your fort, where would be the best place. Like think if you have bunk beds, if it's on a bunk bed, that might make a double-decker fort, which might be pretty cool. I just picked a place in my house that had the biggest floor space. You have to think about what tools you're going to need. You have to think about how the different spaces in your fort are going to be used. And you have to think about the materials that you have to acquire. Just things that are around the house that you have to gather up. Today can just be a list. It can be a sketch of things. I did a sketch where I'm thinking about the different uses. So architects always have to think about the different uses of the space that they are designing. So what you want to do is think about the different uses. Do you want a snack area? Do you want a napping area? Do you want a lounging area? Do you want a game area? Do you want a iPad area? I don't know what you could possibly want, but think about the uses of your fort and how you are going to play in it. So today is going to be the planning part, which is the sketch and the list, or the sketch or the list, so that you can look around your house and see different things that you can use as tools or as equipment to build your fort. I would suggest sheets rather than blankets. You can use both though, but sheets are more lightweight and therefore they're not gonna they're not as hard to secure as blankets are. Other than that, think about what you can use. Today is just a planning day. Next week, we will be building the fort and playing in it, and that will pretty much be your last week because I'm sure that you're going to use more than 20 minutes to build and play in the fort. So, yes, next week will count as 2 weeks. So next week will be your last week of art because you're going to spend more time in it. Okay, let's get going. Okay, when you are searching for tools that you might use in your structure, you might want to look in the garage, or most of your houses have a garage or some kind of storage shed, somewhere, even the attic or the basement, somewhere where your parents would keep extra supplies that they don't use every day. And sometimes you find things that are really cool. So in my garage, I have these extra pieces of lumber that are over here. They are probably going to be really good for my structure because they're really tall and they're very strong. Now, talking about strength, you probably don't want to get something as strong as this because you always have to think about safety. And if this fell on somebody, that would not be safe. So always your number one priority is safety. So you want to think about that when you are building your structure. Architects always have to think about the many ways that it will be used, and safety is always number one. So I was looking in my garage and then I found the garden tool area. This rake would probably be perfect. And I would probably put the this broad side of the rake on the top to support the blanket in a big way so that people can walk around. So rake, broom, things like that, perfect. Okay, so for location, I decided to use my living room because it has the most floor space. You'll see that I got some of these boxes out because I think they will be good to make my fort more complicated. My fort can have different rooms if I use really large boxes. Or it can have different areas where you could have snacks, or you have to think about the uses of your fort. How are people going to use it? What are their needs? And you want to be able to accommodate those needs as much as possible so that your fort is awesome.